I purchased two Moleskine items today. One planner and the other one, the extended notebook. I I cancelled the order to the Wonderland 222 um, because the size was wrong and I was offered a larger size. But then I was thinking the paper, however thin and lovely, it's still white. The paper is white, and it was just I wasn't it wasn't the right choice for me. So I was thinking, instead of drawing my own schedules as I've done for the past, I don't know how many years, how about I just buy something ready. And I was thinking, I do like the Moleskine paper when it's good, which is always debatable. But lately it has been good. Like, I can't really hold too many grudges, except for the one notebook that I bought that was set of notebooks. Actually, they were the Carrière, the small 80-page bound books that was produced in Ecuador. I will not touch another Moleskine product produced in Ecuador ever. I returned it immediately. And however, these are nice. Unfortunately, the bookstore didn't have a plan because I wanted one with 18 months, because it starts, actually they started on July already. And because I want to start using it now. I have some things that start this year and then end the next year. Sorry, my fingers are a little bit dirty. I inked a few fountain pens last night, so that affects fingers. But they only had one. It was the Peanuts thing. I'm not into anything cartoonish, and this is so out of my comfort zone. But this was the only one they had. It has hard covers, and already when there's absolutely nothing, I've not done a single note inside. Nothing. And it doesn't stay closed unless I use the rubber band, which is yellow and turquoise, and the characters. There is these creatures here in the back, instead of the quite usable stickers. There's these kinds of stickers. I think I'll give them to my son and hope he has some use for them. He's more into the kawaii and anime stuff, so maybe this is more down his alley. There are a few, not too many of these. I'll have to do immediately something to them. I know there are those who are very into the whole Snoopy things, but I'm not the one. I'm not one of those. But there was only one. There was a practical good point. See the hefty discount 50%, which was nice. The paper was produced in China. It's very nice. I haven't done a pen test yet. What I will do, however, is I'll take a craft knife and and there's a bookmark. I know there are those who like these things, and I think anyone who likes them would be happy with this. I will cut down very neatly from there, from the end papers, and take away the covers and put them in a nice leather cover. And I bought another extended notebook. Again, the shop doesn't believe in soft covers. All of these notebooks that they had were hard covers. There was one that was produced in China, one in Ecuador. Again, not touching that one. This one was produced in Italy, and I was kind of a 50-50 about it. But then I was thinking the company is Italian at the moment. Originally, it was French. But but it was bought by the Italian company. So I was thinking, maybe they will respect the legacy of this was the control sticker there. They respect the legacy and produced a good paper. This paper might trump the one usually that is produced in Vietnam. Beautiful. It's like the tears of beluga whale. And I only drew, I just came back home. I only tried 2 pens. I bought the Pilot, the new pen, and I tested that. And then I had in my Twisby, I had a Jinhao. I don't remember the name of the color of this ink, but it is a gusher. So if anything bleeds through, it is this one. And absolutely nothing. This paper is invincible. I'm so glad I bought this. And again, not even used, and already the covers don't even close. And my notebooks, they become thick ones. They're not dainty little, things. And I don't baby my notebooks. They are here to be used and to be used. So they get thicker. Sometimes I stuff and schlep things in. I don't do that purposefully. I don't, like these stickers and things. I don't decorate in a traditional sense. But if there is something I need to remember, a piece of paper, I will shove it, in between the pages, and so that way, the even the spine gives way a little according, during the times and days and months that you use, especially these, they have 400 pages nearly. So it's not just over and done with within a week and two. So these notebooks, they last a time, and that's why I like them, because there's so many pages. And it's not as quite as squarish as the A5, which is a bit of an, to me, uncomfortable size because it's quite short. When it comes to height, but then it's quite squarish. So when you do carry the notebook and you use it, I'm always thinking about, how will it affect the fingers? Because I have to be mindful about how much I put strain on my joints. So I like the more narrow 13 centimeters in comparison to 14.8 and 14.9. For example, I'll show you my dear diary that I have, that I use these days to compare the sizes. This is actually made from, hold on, there, from Moleskine paper as well. It's a B5 or the extra large in Moleskine sizes. So it's 25 centimeters in height, but I've narrowed it. I think this is 13.8. And I have different things here. I have the diary. There's the ideas that I've collected. I like to collect some clippings and, just a visual. Sometimes I gather pictures from things I want to create and things I want to bring into my life. And funny enough, it works. It's all energy in the end. I have the commonplace book at the back, etc. So I have a lot of things. And as you see, my notebooks I like the elongated size and shape. But I was thinking that, just imagine that the covers are gone and the two of them, they are the same size. I think it's quite calm and classy. I'll rather put this one on top of the other and even hide this one. Oh, thank you. I think it's a little bit, it's rather more classy this way, in my opinion. And I think I'm going to, hold on. I think I'm going to put them in one of my leather covers. This is, I made this, I don't know how many years ago already. I used to when I was dealing with my father's estates things after his passing. I used this one for the papers that I was carrying everywhere. Now this is originally these notebooks here are the 13 centimeter wide Moleskine paper as well. So there's some space to grow. I'm not going to start wiggling with them, but I might use this one. So when you do shove the A4s folded in two, they do come out just a little bit. It doesn't matter. It was just, this was just a almost like a carryable pocket I was using to carry the pockets. And a very good tip that I received from a nurse actually, and she advised me to get a separate notebook and just write a daily log. Where did you call? Who did you talk with? What at what time? Which officials, etc., etc., etc. And she was right. I was flabbergasted about how many things you actually do have to run through and shove papers and PDF files and everything from one person to the other. And I wouldn't have been as efficient as I needed to be had it not been for the notebook. And that notebook was carried in these covers and all the papers as well. So I started to use, because the more you use these things, the softer they become, the nicer. And this one, it has the rubber bands here, as you see. But I was thinking I don't quite like the look of the rubber bands here, so I sewed these little pieces of leather on either side. So that made the spine kind of a squarish, and the whole shebang is a little bit bookish. It doesn't even have the rubber band going around the notebook, and I quite like it. It's a little bit more streamlined, the look. So I think this thing, once I take the covers off, is going to find its way onto, if not these covers, I have other covers as well. And maybe even these. Maybe I'll carry them together, maybe not. I don't know. We shall see. But I did make the purchase, and I do trust the Moleskine. I've noticed they tend to put quite nice paper when it comes to the planners. And this post I really wanted to make because I was surprised by the Italian produced paper. It's really nice. It's really, really, it's probably the nicest paper I felt. It feels, even when I open it, just feels cool to the touch. And it's just so smooth. And I was taking the notebooks like these, and I was making a little bit of a comparison between the notebook made in China and the other one that was produced in Italy. And this paper was a tad darker. Now, I would rather have darker paper than, because I remember Moleskine used to be quite a bit, in my opinion, quite a bit darker than it is now. And I actually do remember I have some old notebooks from Moleskine that used to be darker. That, in my opinion, was far more attractive than the whitish papers, because you can find them anywhere. That's a non-issue. That's why I like even the Leuchtturm, because it has a very standardized quality of paper. They don't waver one way or the other. I don't know where they do make the papers. I just know that they're good quality. Every time I buy a Leuchtturm 1917, it's always a good one. I've never been dissatisfied with Leuchtturm paper. And it just feels nice and it's lovely. It's also A5. They do have B5s as well. And nothing stops a person from making the notebooks narrower, just like I've done here. But, you know, there's something about the expanded. I really like these. So, anyways, that's my happy news from today. I found the paper produced in Italy to be absolutely delightful, wonderful, and wishing everyone a lovely day ahead. Bye bye. Take care.